I am by forever Judaism rapper. Yes, I am. I am also a Muslim, a Christian, a Buddhist, and a Jew. If we bear all this suffering, and if there are still Jews left when it is over, then Jews, instead of being doomed, will be held up as an example. There's a lovely Hasidic story of a rabbi who also told his people that if they study the Torah, it would put scripture on their hearts. One of them asked, why on their hearts and not in them? The rabbi answered, only God can put scripture inside, but reading sacred text can put it on your heart. And then when your hearts break, the holy words will fall inside. If we believe that he, Jesus, really contends the follies, the falsehoods, and the charlatanism that which his biographers father on him, and admit the misconstructions, interpolations, and theorizations of the fathers of the early and the fanatics of the later ages, the conclusions will be irresistible by sound mind that he was an impostor. We find in the writings of his biographers a matter of two distinct descriptions. First, a groundwork of vulgar ignorance of things impossible, of superstitions, fanaticisms, and the fabrications that sect had presented for the object of their worship, being of terrific character, cruel, vindictive, capricious, and unjust. Jesus had to walk on the perilous confines of reason and religion, and step or right to left might place him within the gripe of their priests of the superstition, bloody, thirsty race, as cruel and remorseless as the being whom they represent as the family of God of Abraham, of Isaac, and of Jacob, and the local God of Israel. They were constantly laying snares to entangle him in the web of the law. That Jesus did not mean to impose himself on mankind as the Son of God, physically speaking. I have been convinced by the writings of men more learned than myself and the Lord. The question shouldn't be, why are you a Christian here in a death camp condemned for trying to save Jews? The real question is, why aren't all Christians here? It is not a pretty world, Papa. I've noticed my father said softly, for all the pain you suffered, my mama, for all the moment, all the torment of your past and future, says my mama, for all the anguish, the picture of pain will cause you, for the unspeakable mystery that brings good fathers and sons into the world and lets a mother, which them tear at each other's throats, for the master of the universe, who's suffering what I do not comprehend, for dreams of horror, for nights of waiting, for memories of death, but for the love I have for you, for all the things I remember, for all the things I should remember and have forgotten, for all these I created, but this pain and an observant Jew working on a crucifixion, because there was no aesthetic mold in his own religious tradition into which he could pour a pain of ultimate anguish and torment. The pursuit of knowledge for its own sake, and almost fanatical love of justice, and the desire of personal independence. These are the features of a Jewish tradition, which makes me thank my stars that I belong to it. When Maimonides says that the Messiah will come, but that he tarry, we see the origin of every Jewish struggle, from Spinoza to Woody Allen. The presidential election has given less anxiety than I myself could have imagined. The next administration will be a troublesome one to whomsoever it falls, and our John has been too much worn to contend much longer with conflicting factions. I call him our John because when you were at the cul-de-sac in Paris, he appeared to me to be almost as much your boy as mine. As to the decision of the author, although I wish to see the book of Floren's experiments on the functions of the nervous system and vertebrated animals, I look upon it as a mere game, as pushpen and incision knives will never discover the distinction between between matter and spirit, or whether there is any or not, that there is an active principle of power in the universe is apparent, but in what substance that active principle resides is past our investigation. The faculties of our understanding are not adequate to penetrate the universe. Let us do our duty, which is to do as we would be done by, and that one with faith could not be difficult. If we honestly sum it up, aim at it, your university is noble employment, and your old age and your ardor for its success does you honor. But I do not approve of your sending to Europe for tutors and professors. I do believe there are sufficient scholars in America so to fill your professorships and tutorships with more active ingenuity and independent minds than you can bring from Europe. The Europeans are all deeply tainted with prejudices of both celestial and temporal, which they can never get rid of. They are all infected with episcopal and Presbyterian creeds and confessions of faith. They all believe that great principle which had produced a boundless universe, Newton's universe, and universe came down to a little ball to spit upon the Jews, and until this awful blasphemy is got rid of, there never will be any liberal science in the world. It spins in the worlds and swirls. Had a lot of German in him, some Irish, but no Jew. I think that if he had a little Jew, he would have stuck it out, But now has it happened that millions of tables, legends have been blended with both Jewish and Christian revelation that have made them the most bloody religion that have ever existed. How has it happened that all the fine arts, architecture, painting, sculpture, statuary, music, poetry, and oratory have been prostituted from the creation of the world to the sordid and detestable purposes of superstition and fraud? By forever Judaism rapper forever.